go to the court. Let us wait for some good day. Good day will come. Lot of changes are there. Constitutions will be changing. There are judgments which alters the constitution also. BJP doesn't have any work. They are trying to mislead the nation. I am a sensible politician. I know. You just go to the records. I have not said anything. I have said that in various orders they will go for public will go for court, and courts have given various judgments, and connected to that various amendments have taken place. This is the history of this country. I have not said. I am not I have basic common sense. How can we change the constitution?
He now says, how can we change the constitution? But in a statement that came right after that, a few hours after my colleague spoke with DK Shivakumar, he came out and said that there has been precedent. There have been several changes and amendments that have come to the fore in the constitution from what it was envisaged to what we have now. So he doesn't seem quite opposed to the idea of making those changes. But what the Congress seems to forget is that here we're talking about Muslim reservation that's based on religion. And as far as that narrative is concerned, the Grand Old Party is definitely backed itself in the corner. Many would call this a self-goal. What DK Shivakumar and the Congress Party forget is this. The father of the Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, during a debate in the Constituent Assembly said, and I quote, "If we were to concede in full the demand of those communities who have not been so far employed in public services to the fullest extent, what would really happen is that we shall be completely destroying the first proposition upon which we all agreed, namely that there should be equality of opportunity." In 1961, former Prime Minister of the country, Jawaharlal Nehru, wrote to Chief Ministers, emphasizing on the need for empowering backward groups by giving them access to good and technical education and not by reserving jobs based on caste and creed. He said that if we go in for reservations on communal and caste basis, we swamp the bright and able people and remain second-rate or third-rate. Is that what we want? Do we not want efficiency? Was the question Jawaharlal Nehru asked in those letters that he sent to these chief ministers. He said, "I am grieved to learn of how for this business of reservation has gone on for this long based on communal consideration." We have another stalwart in India who had also advised against it. In fact, an advisory committee that was chaired by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in 1949 in that report stated that it was no longer appropriate in the context of free India and of present conditions that there should be reservations of seats for Muslims, for Christians, for Sikhs or any other religious minority. That's something that is now arming the BJP, who is trying to push the Congress party against the wall as far as their constitution under attack narrative was concerned. This firestorm rocked both houses of parliament, both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The opposition alleged that the treasury benches were raising a fake issue because they only wanted to stall the parliament. They accused the BJP of diverting from the issue of the cash haul that was found at a Delhi High Court judge's residence. Amid pandemonium and repeated adjournments, union ministers, one after another in both houses, challenged the Congress party and its president Mallikarjun Kharge to sack DK Shivakumar.
एक जज जिसके घर में पैसे मिले और उसका चिंदी
पर आप बोल चुके मानिए
उस बात को
बोल चुके
उस बात को सप्रेस करने के लिए और ये संविधान की बात लाए हैं।
माननीय उपसभापति जी, लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन ने जो बात कही है वो सरासर झूठ और गलत है। कांग्रेस का इतिहास रहा है, चाहे वो कर्नाटक की विधानसभा रही, कर्नाटक के विधानसभा में ठेकेदारों को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देने के लिए 4% का रिजर्वेशन का प्रस्ताव पारित किया है। 4% का ये अंबेडकर के रखवाले बनते हैं। उपसभापति जी, ये अंबेडकर के रखवाले बनते हैं। सरदार पटेल ने और अंबेडकर ने कहा कि रिजर्वेशन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलीजन विल नॉट टेक प्लेस। धर्म के आधार पर रिजर्वेशन नहीं होगा।
Let's open this up. Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP, will be joining us shortly. Samrudh Hegde, spokesperson of the Congress, is with us. Advocate in the Supreme Court, Avishkar Singhvi, and senior journalist Shekhar Iyer is with us on this broadcast. Let me begin by asking Mr. Hegde. This is exactly what DK Shivakumar said during the News18 conclave when specifically told that the Constitution does not allow for religion-based reservation. He said Let's see what comes out of it. I know everyone will go to court, but let's wait for the good day, and that good day will come. Constitution will be changing over time. We've seen that in the past. There are judgments which alter the constitution as well. Where is the room of misinterpretation in this? As he's now claiming.
There is no room for misinterpretation. There is no room for misinterpretation. He has clearly said, and any prudent individual will be able to attest and understand the fact that he was, when answering a question about the constitutionality of this particular amendment to bring in Muslim quota, he answered saying the people will go to the courts and the courts can interpret this constitutional mandate. What is wrong in that? Time and again, over the years, be it the Indira Sawhney judgment, be it the Maratha reservation judgment, be it even the recent judgment for the KTTP Act by the Karnataka High Court, courts have interpreted the constitution. It's an evolving document. So, and I find it funny that the BJP, and ironical, that the BJP who desecrates the constitution and its sanctity on a daily basis is coming today and talking about protecting the constitution. In 2024, there was a series of BJP leaders, including the Prime Minister, who spoke about changing the constitution. What action has been taken against them? Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, sitting as the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, being an MLA of Karnataka, can he change the constitution? Please think. These are ways to divert issues. And coming to the Muslim quota reservation, the current discourse clearly reveals that there's a vilifying and ostracization of a particular community, and that is unbecoming of a secular democratic nation. Through various commission reports over the years in Karnataka, since pre-independent times, Muslims have had reservation in Karnataka because of their social and economic status. In 1994,
which is something that the constitution does allow. But giving them reservation based on the fact that they're Muslims and giving them a certain amount of quota, which is 4% in this, for government reservations. That's unheard of. This is the first time that we've seen that in Karnataka.
No, it's not. Let me explain. Since pre-independence time, Nalvadi Krishna Raju Vadiyar had given reservation for Muslims specifically as a religion. Post-independence, the O. Chinnappa Swamy Commission report, the Venkatappa Swamy Commission report, and in 1994, they were given religion-based reservation by the government, and now they are given 4% in the transparency in public procurements. What is wrong? In 2024, SC, STs and OBCs were given the same. Now, when we have identified that Muslims are socially and economically backward, it becomes affirmative action when
but if they fall under the category of socially and economically backward, then there is a reservation, there is a quota that is there for them. Why make it specially just for 4%? But let me get in the BJP as well. As far as the Congress is concerned, Siddharth Yadav, they say that there is nothing wrong as far as this reservation goes, A, and B, that what has D.K. Shivakumar said? He's not saying that he's going to be changing the constitution because he obviously cannot. So why is the BJP twisting his words? Siddharth Yadav, if you can hear me.
Sorry, you were not audible. I can hear you now.
Is this better, sir?
Yeah. Can you please repeat your question?
So the Congress says that there is nothing wrong with giving Muslim reservation. There's precedent in that. They've identified these Muslims as socially and economically backward, which is why there is this 4% quota in the bill that's been passed in the assembly last week. And secondly, that Mr. D.K. Shivakumar didn't say that he's going to be changing the constitution because obviously he cannot. Why is the BJP trying to divert attention from real issues is a question the Congress asked you today.
The problem with the Congress party is that they are in a desperate situation of vote bank politics. They cannot think beyond vote bank politics. And because of that, the appeasement has gone to another level. And that is the reason why the Congress party in the states that they rule, they try and bring out such issues so that they are the champions of appeasement politics in this country. Now, one thing is very clear. Our constitution doesn't allow for a religion-based reservation. It was widely debated by the forefathers who built this constitution. It was debated in the Constituent Assembly of this country, and it was agreed upon that the constitution of this country would not have a religion-based reservation. The Muslim League had demanded for it, and the members of the Constituent Assembly had unilaterally come with the conclusion that we would not go ahead with any religion-based reservation. Now, in Karnataka, when a 2A category already has, and in many other states, already has few communities, few castes from Muslim community as well, which are given reservation under the OBC community. What is the desperation of the Congress party of Rahul Gandhi or of DK Shivakumar that they need to come out and introduce a 4% blanket reservation for Muslims in the state? You are coming and tagging Muslims as everybody, Pathans, Sheikhs, Sayyid, be it anybody of that community. If you are born Muslim, you are a backward. Are you trying to do that? And on the top of that, I read the verbatim of what the Deputy Chief Minister has said. The News18 itself, conducted the conclave where he came out and said that he made no mistake. He said very clearly that the constitution has been interpreted, has been changed, it will be changed. So why can't the Congress party come out and make a position clear that yes, we are going to introduce a religion-based constitution reservation in this country and we are going to change the constitution for that? You can't do that as well. You want to sail in two boats at one time. You want to say that we are the saviors of constitution when you yourself, the people who have taken the oath of the constitution or are on the highest positions, constitutional positions in the states, have the audacity to come out and say that we will change the constitution for what? For appeasement politics in this country. For what? For giving a blanket reservation to certain communities in this country. Where are we headed? Tomorrow another community will come up and say that all of us are backward. Tomorrow the Christians will come out and say, the Pauls can come out and say, but are we going to lead this country like this? Can a chief minister, deputy chief minister, an elected government, can they be having policies just because of the sake of appeasement politics or gathering a mass vote bank? They can be playing with the constitution of this country. This is totally
sure, but as far as Karnataka is concerned, Siddharth Yadav, maybe that argument is valid. But as far as changing the constitution is concerned, the Congress is in no position to actually bring in a constitutional amendment and make that change. So why is the BJP then talking about it? The opposition does not have the numbers in either houses.
My question is, when you do not have the numbers, when you cannot bring so, why do you go out on stages and say so? What is the mantra? What is the intention behind this? What is that the Congress party and their leaders trying to send a message to certain community and even coming out and saying when they cannot that we will change the constitution for you.
So then is it merely just about optics then? Shekhar Ayyar, I want to get you in on that because do you think it's ironic that while we're speaking of the optics, exactly a year ago, this time last year, just before the 2024 elections, we had the Congress party go hammer and tongs against the BJP, against the allies of the BJP and the government, that they will change the constitution if they come to power once again. Do you think optics-wise, narrative-wise, the BJP has turned this entire debate on its head with this comment from DK Shivakumar?
Well, Poonam, Congress strategy has been very clear. You mentioned about the campaign during the last Lok Sabha elections. The only thing is, DK Shivakumar is a leader who talks very straight and in a very, in a manner that he speaks his mind and heart out. Now, the problem in this, trying to explain the statement by the Congress is largely because the timing is immature. Congress is very clear that its politics ahead is to somehow give a message that it wishes to take care of the minorities so that it can retain the vote bank it has generated in Karnataka, in Telangana, and in other states wherever its revival, depends on the minority vote. That is something they want to retain it. At the same time, they are somehow working on the OBC vote so that OBC vote will come to them, because in that segment, whether it is minorities or OBC, they have to compete with other regional parties, the so-called secular regional parties. So if DK Shivakumar has only spoken out in a manner which may appear to be premature, because as of now, if you go by the Andhra Pradesh High Court judgment, you go by the Supreme Court judgment, as the constitution stands today, you cannot have a religion-based reservation. But definitely Congress is hopeful if it continues to retain the support of the minorities and hopes to, woo away the OBCs from the BJP, in the distant future. It thinks that the constitution may have to be amended. That is what DK Shivakumar is saying, that there may be a day when the Supreme Court may take a different view, if not today, but later. So I think we will have to, see DK Shivakumar's statement as part of a long-term strategy of the Congress. Now the question is, why is making a BJP big deal about what Shivakumar has said? Because it's also part of the BJP strategy to constantly highlight the fact that Congress is working on this formula and it continues to, keep this what it calls the appeasement politics. So it suits BJP to highlight DK Shivakumar, and it also suits Congress that there are leaders like DK Shivakumar who now and then give out those signals, which should be reassuring. As far as Karnataka reservation is concerned, 2B is very clear. I mean, this is 2B category, 2B is very clear. It's about Muslims that Congress is committed because it support wherever there is chance of revival, the solid block of Muslim votes Congress is very, very crucial, and it doesn't want to give up on that for anything else.
And we'll circle back to that if it's more just about vote bank politics and reaping political dividends than actually welfare as is being claimed for why they've given this reservation. But Avishkar Singhvi, let me get you in as well, because legally speaking, one of the reasons that this is being countered is that legally it's not possible to pass the hurdle that Karnataka Congress or Congress as a whole is trying to do. Where do you stand on that? Is that something that the Congress will have to perhaps face when this issue does go to the courts of the country?
Thanks a lot, Poonam, for asking me that question. Firstly, I'd like to clarify that the constitutionality of the Act is currently not in question because it's not reached the courts. But the first question that we must ask ourselves is whether this is a legislation that is for the backward minorities or whether it is for a religious community. The category 2B, as my co-panelist just mentioned, is very clear. And it has been there from 1994 from several commissions that have existed. And it was recently removed in the 2023, I believe, by the BJP government at that moment. But the fact of the matter is that Christians, Jains, other religious minorities who are considered backwards in any state can have the privilege of reservation. Now, the issue with confusing and conflating religion with reservation is a very dangerous proposition because the Supreme Court has already held that you cannot have religion-based reservation. That is absolutely clear. But where the overlap exists is where you give reservation on the basis of a community being backward. Now, if Muslims in a particular state, and the Supreme Court in M.R. Balaji has also held that in certain states, Muslims are a backward community. There are other decisions of the Honorable Supreme Court which clearly say that when a community is considered to be backward, then the Constitution itself provides for reservation. I don't want to make any comments on the learned minister's statements because that may be taken out of context. That's a different topic. The first point that has to be considered is within the OBC. Now, reservation in public jobs is about 50% odd in Karnataka. Within that, 32% is OBCs. Out of that, category 2B was a earlier category which was recently removed. 2B has 4%. That was a category for Muslims. There is another category which must be brought and told to your viewers, which is category 3B, I believe, which is for Jains, Christians and Lingayats. That is a separate reservation under OBC. So therefore, to say that there is a reservation only for the Muslim community would be an argument stretching too far. Point number one. Point number two is that this is if the constitutionality, when the defense is coming to the court, they will have to defend on whether this is a bill which is trying to promote the backward classes or whether it is a religion-based reservation. So that is the test that the courts will then have to analyze, and ultimately the courts will decide. But diverse political parties have given this, and as my learned co-panelist has already pointed out, the Chinnappa Commission in 1994 had recommended reservation for Muslims in 1994, and in 2002 it was in fact as a separate category it was granted. So therefore I think it is a bit premature for us to give a verdict on the constitutionality of an act which is stillborn, which is just recently put in place. Let it go to courts and let the final decision be rendered by the courts.
Sure, but the debate of constitutionality and whether it will have legal standing or not also comes to the fore because DK Shivakumar spoke about changes that could be brought in at some point in the constitution based on certain court judgments. But Siddharth Yadav, let me get you in.
Just one point. Fortunately or unfortunately, a bill of parliament or a state legislature cannot be interpreted by the words of a minister which have been taken out of context. So that's something we must bear in mind.
But why have they been taken out of context? I quoted exactly what DK Shivakumar said when the question was asked to him about religion-based reservation and the constitution having no provision for it.
that will not be an aid to interpret the act. The act will rise or fall or die on its own merit. That you cannot say because the bill, somebody has made a statement, that statement cannot be taken out of context. That is a separate debate altogether. But as far as the bill is concerned, it will be judged on whether the bill is constitutional or not. And there have been instances in the past.
Sure. So, Siddharth Yadav, this bill could stand legal scrutiny. It's too premature to talk about it. And if it does stand legal scrutiny, then what's wrong?
No, first of all, what has to be understood is that nobody is taking anything out of context. The Deputy Chief Minister, a very responsible leader of the Congress party, has very categorically said that if required, we will make changes to the constitution, and changes have been made in the past. Now, we have seen, very fortunately, we have not been born today. We have seen the history of this country. We have read the books. We have seen the Congress frame of the Congress party. One Shah Bano went from a district court to a high court to a Supreme Court, where she claimed maintenance, where the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court of this country said that the right of maintenance is not prejudiced by religion. It is religiously neutral. You have the right. The Congress party, out of the Muslim frame, brought in a bill in the amendment in the parliament to overturn the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, the Congress party can do anything for their appeasement politics is a very well known fact by the country, a very well known fact in the historical context of this country. Now, what has to be understood is, why do they wish to bring it today? What is the need? Now, my friend, my learned panelist was saying there is another provision where Jans are also given. I'll tell you an interesting fact. 2A of the OBC reservation in Karnataka gives reservation to Muslim communities which are socially and economically, socially and educationally backward, because that is the criteria of OBC reservation in this country. Certain castes have been listed out and they enjoyed that reservation. What is the requirement of 2B? Leave that aside. Is there this provision for any other religious community in this country? Point number 3. The Honorable Supreme Court has never in the past said that the Muslims as a religious community are backward and should be given the reservation. Now, what is this reservation coming on? It is coming on the cost of the rights of the OBCs, SCs, STs of this country. पिछड़ों का अधिकार छीन करके एक आप रिलीजियस कम्युनिटी को देना चाहते हैं अपने वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स के लिए, and then you come out and you have the audacity to say that we'll change the constitution for that. What are you doing? Is this the policy of the Congress party? Is what we ask today. The Congress must clarify. Will they change the constitution of this country to bring in a religious reservation or not? Because the religious reservation is unconstitutional.
So, Samrat Hegde, right now the Congress or the opposition may not have the numbers or the position to make any constitutional amendment or change the constitution. But like DK Shivakumar said, and to quote him again, those good days might come. Those good days will come at some point and then we'll decide. So when that good day does come, is this where the Congress is headed?
I would urge all your viewers to watch that clip again and hear how many times he mentions the word courts. Court. Did he say the Congress will change the constitution? Did he say I will change the constitution? Did he say the Congress government, when it comes to power, will change the constitution? He said the courts will change the constitution as it's an evolving document.
No.
That's how it's been interpreted. That is the history. How many times have he used the word courts in the statement? He used it 4 times. Even if after using it 4 times, if it is not clear and they're creating a hoo-ha and a mountain out of a molehill, then you can clearly see why the BJP is agitated. And when it is affirmative action, when it is extended to the vote banks of the BJP, but it is appeasement if it is extended to the deserving based on empirical data, where economic opportunities are provided under the KTTP Act for economically backward classes. What is wrong? There is already around 35 to 40% reservation given to SC, STs, Category 1, OBC and 2A. And on top of that, there is 4%. So there is no question of eating into SC, ST, OBC reservations. And Article 15(4) clearly mandates that special provisions can be made for socially and educationally backward classes of citizens. Now, when Commission reports in 1994, the very ally of the BJP right now, Mr. Deve Gowda, brought in that reservation. That time it was okay. Now they are in cahoots together. So that now it's fine.
Siddharth Hegde, it's convenient when the BJP or its ally do it, but if the opposition does it, then there's a big brouhaha over it. And this is an allegation that the opposition or the Congress has made against the BJP on multiple issues, not just this one.
Yeah. I'll just read out the verbatim of what the Deputy Chief Minister said so that the viewers have a very clear understanding, because I think lying has become a habit for a few people today. I know people will approach the quote. This is where he mentions the quote. Let us wait for the good day. Good day will come. Lot of changes are there and the constitution will be changing. The constitution will be changing. Is that the good day you are waiting
Entire
for?
statement, sir.
Is this the good day that the Congress party wants? What is the good day for the Congress party? I wish to ask. I was not speaking over you, sir. Please have the courtesy to hear me out. I was not speaking while you were speaking. Please have the courtesy to hear me out. I am asking a very straightaway question from the Congress party today. What is? I'm reading the statement. I'm reading verbatim of what the Deputy Chief Minister has said. He's saying that let us wait for the good day will come.
You can't read.
Let us wait for the good day will come. Lot of changes are there and the constitution will be changing. Is the change in constitution is changing the code, is changing the constitution a good day for the Congress party? This is the reality of Congress party. They want to snatch away everything from OBCs, SCs, STs, from the Dalit, Pichda, Vanchit, Shoshet, everybody. They will snatch it, everything, but give it to one religious community because they know that their vote bank politics comes from that community. They know that their only chance, they have been defeated by the people of this country. They have been down in shambles. The people have again and again reminded them that this politics will not go on. Yet the Congress party cannot correct themselves.
So then where is the question, Siddharth Yadav, of changing the constitution? Like I said, the Congress is in no position at the moment for another 4 years at least to make any changes. And then we'll know in 2029 again if anything changes.
And that is why he's hoping for the good day to come. He's saying it. He's not saying that I will change it today. He's saying a good day will come. That good day is when the Congress party will ever, in his imagination, win. And when they win, they will change the constitution. It's very clear. What is the doubt about it? I do not know why my friend, who's supposedly a lawyer or legal expert, is so rattled and wants to defend the Congress party so well that when I'm quoting the verbatim, he is trying to defend the good day. What is the good day? Explain me. What is when the DK Shivakumar comes and says that a good day will come? What is the good day? Answer me.
Please read the entire statement. I'll answer you. Please read the entire statement.
What is the good day?
I'll answer.
What does he mean by a good day will
Okay,
come?
Siddharth Yadav, let him respond.
Okay, give me 30 seconds. Let me answer
yes.
you. Let me answer you.
Yes.
30 seconds. First, you should read the entire statement from when the question was asked till his last full stop. You can't take in the middle portion of it and say he's going to change the constitution,
Oh my goodness.
Use the word court 4 times. The good day, the very good day he's talking about, is the day when someone approaches the court and decides this aspect constitutionally.
And if the court paved the way for it, then maybe those changes will come to the fore. But Shekhar Iyer, as far as optics go, as far as the optics go, or the narrative that we're seeing in the last 24 hours over what DK Shivakumar said and the reactions that came to the fore, do you think that the Congress somewhere seems to be pushed to the wall? Also because it is DK Shivakumar, there have been times in the past where he's not exactly towed the party line. There have been ruffled feathers within the party, be it his visit to the Isha Foundation event for Mahashivratri or his visit to the Mahakumbh and his praise that came thereafter.
You are right, Poonam. Even this, his remarks in this interview has certain bearing on the internal dynamics of the Congress today. Everyone knows that there is a lot of tussle going on about change of leadership of the government, say when November comes, when the government completes 2 years. Now, DK Shivakumar, unlike Siddaramaiah, does not have a very, very pro-Muslim image or a pro-minority image. Like Siddaramaiah is credited with that Ainda formula, where minorities are an important factor for the secular politics that Siddaramaiah claims to practice. So, this remarks, that is also can be seen in the context that he wishes to convey the message that even when it comes to the question of backing Muslim rights, Muslim votes, he is as good in his position as Siddaramaiah is, because Siddaramaiah enjoys a tremendous commitment of the Muslim community. And you can see after this 4% reservation was announced through the bill, the Muslim community, Muslim ministers in Siddaramaiah government, they hailed Siddaramaiah government for the commitment, the Congress party. See, the problem today for the Congress is that the statements like Shivakumar does upset because the time is not right for the Congress to go ahead and say that yes, we are for religious-based reservation and we wish to provide reservation for Muslims. They would like to say it, but the timing is not right. Because, see, that's the problem is, because if they say it too soon, then BJP will gain advantage and will be able to consolidate the large OBC as well as the larger Hindu society votes. So
perhaps it's a catch-22 situation for the Congress party, or at least DK Shivakumar has made it one. Avishkar Singhvi, I want to give you the last 30 seconds before I wrap this up. As far as India of the 21st century is concerned, whether the courts pave the way for it or not, that's something we'll find out. But is religion-based reservation something that we should vie for or want?
The answer is simple, and I will give a legal answer, because religion-based reservation is strictly not in consonance with the legal regime. But however, reservation based on backwardness is clearly permissible. The Sachar committee, you look at the Ranganath Mishra committee, etc., have all recognized Muslims to be a backward community. And if that is so, then and if they are included within the OBC category, then it's clear that a reservation for them would be permissible in law. And I think that is going to be one of the main arguments to on the other side and this side, when it comes to the court. And currently, what is to be looked at also is the statistical data of actually how backward Muslims are in a particular state. And once the it's very easy to say that a particular party is appeasing their vote bank, but every political party does that. And I'm not here as a politician to say that, but I'm sure Mr. Yadav's party is also equally guilty of of appeasing.
And if there is a legal challenge to this particular bill, and if there are facts to back that, then it will stand legal scrutiny. And if not, then like they say, doodh ka doodh aur pani ka pani ho jayega. But I have to leave it there, and we'll find out what happens next in this entire controversy. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. It is time for a quick break, but on the other side, we'll get you details of what's transpiring in Pakistan in the wake of the Jafar Express terror attack just a few days ago. Crackdown on pro-Baloch voices continues, and it's escalating with each passing day. Has the Pakistani Gestapo stand exposed? That's what we ask.
जहाज में पड़ी
Okay.
Ezgi arkadaşımıza çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Dava açsınlar. O sandık kurulacak. Bu savaşı bana değil.
Ayaklara döküleceğiz. Sandığa gideceğiz.
Hakkını almaya geliyoruz. Üretenin kazandığı.
İstanbul valisine sesleniyorum. Bu akşam burada İstanbul'da bir tarih yazılacak. Bunu
Thank you for staying with us. Pakistan charged Baloch rights activist Maharang Baloch with terrorism over the weekend with sedition and murder after she led a demonstration which ended in the death of 3 protesters. Maharang Baloch, one of Pakistan's most prominent human rights advocates, has long campaigned for Baloch rights, alleging harassment and extrajudicial killings by the Pakistani government and the army. Top intelligence sources in India have told CNN News 18 that Maharang Baloch is under illegal detention and that she has not been given judicial recourse. The crackdown, remember, comes in the wake of the BLA ambush that we saw just a few days ago of Jafar Express, where Baloch rebels killed Pakistani security personnel and several hostages after being eliminated in a counterattack. Now, this has renewed the crackdown on pro-Baloch activists across Pakistan, including detentions without legal remedies. The question that remains is, has Pakistan's Gestapo then been exposed? Before we get to our guests, CNN News 18's Manoj Gupta spoke to Baloch activist Kadir Baloch on this recent detention and what follows in their fight. Listen in.
तो बात यह है कि उस दिन उन्होंने एक मुजाहरा किया था, तो उसमें शेलिंग भी हुआ था, उधर मारपीट भी हुआ था, वहाँ 5 लाशें भी गिराई थी पुलिस वालों ने और एजेंसी वालों ने। तो इस बहाने पे उसको जो है ना एजेंसी वालों ने, पाकिस्तान एजेंसी वालों ने अरेस्ट करके ले गए थे, थाने में बंद कर दिया था। एक रात थाने में रहने के बाद उसको फिर क्वेटा सेंट्रल जेल जो है ना यहाँ बलोचिस्तान का, उसमें जो है ना उनको कैद कर रखा है डेटेन्यूज। नजर बंद है, उससे किसी को मिलने के लिए भी नहीं देते हैं, उससे किसी को बात करने भी नहीं देते हैं। तो ये पाकिस्तानी एजेंसीज ने उनको पकड़ा है, और जो एजेंसीज एक ही हैं पाकिस्तान के, चाहे वो फौज के नाम से लिया पुकारा जाए या पाकिस्तानी एजेंसी जिसको हम ISI MI भी कह सकते हैं।
Let's open this up. Balochi journalist Amar Masti Khan joins us. Tara Karta, former director of NSCS, is with us, and Pakistani strategic affairs expert Kamar Chima is with us as well. But let me begin by asking Amar Masti Khan, as far as the detention is concerned of Maharang Baloch, it's been 48 hours since that happened. Do we have any details of whether she's been given legal recourse, whether she's been allowed to meet with her lawyers or family members? Because the last we heard is that the jail or the police or the authorities there weren't even acknowledging that she was arrested.
The situation is extremely volatile. They have arrested Maharang Baloch, who we consider the de facto Prime Minister of Balochistan. She is our daughter. She is respected by entire people of Balochistan, 200 plus tribes, young people, old people, every section of the people. They have no right to keep her in isolation. She is facing extreme torture at the hands of this Mullah General, who is also, by the way, has arrested his own Prime Minister. If you ask me who's the Prime Minister of Pakistan right now, I will say it is Imran Khan. So we are requesting them to free our de facto Prime Minister. I am telling the world that the real problem in Pakistan is what I call Fitna al-Pakistani Afwaj. They all the time say Fitna Khwarij, Fitna Khwarij. I say the main problem in Pakistan is the military. You see, you will be very surprised. Since the first time this Pakistani Ayub Khan became the army chief, within 9 months he killed the first prime minister of the country. That is the main problem. We are not terrorists, ma'am. If the Pakistani military comes on our land, I have asked my children, I have asked my youngsters to attack them. We are not going to let them roam in our land. They must understand where their land ends and where Balochistan begins. We are fighting for our leader, Dr. Allah Nazar Baloch. Dr. Allah Nazar Baloch has said it very clearly. The Pakistani GHQ should read the writing on the wall. It's too much. You know what? I will tell you one thing. You will be surprised. During the second insurgency, 1973 to 77, my uncle was a childhood friend of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. But still he was picked up, he was tortured, and he had to give a lot of money for his freedom. This is over now. Forget the Punjabi Muslims should learn to live at peace with their neighbors. They have never been peaceable neighbors. They have been unkind to us, they have been unkind to Afghans, they have been unkind to India all the while. Now they complain that why do we have good relations with Afghans? Why do we have good relations with India? Why can't you have the same thing? Who has stopped you?
This has been the case for decades together. This is not Kamar Chima, an issue or a crisis that Pakistan is seeing in the recent past. This has been right from the genesis that we've seen that the people of Balochistan are not happy. They don't want this kind of structure that currently exists. But look at these visuals that we're showing to our viewers as far as this particular episode is concerned. Why is it that we see Maharang Baloch and others who've been arrested with her being charged with sedition and terrorism, when look at how these women were being dragged away by policemen in riot gear when there was tear gas shelling that took place, while all it was a sit-in demonstration?
Well, this was not a sit-in demonstration. That was an attack on hospital. Remember, these unarmed people, they went into the hospitals. They took away the dead bodies of the terrorists and they wanted to bury because they believe that these terrorists belong to them. Now there is a legal procedure in Pakistani system that even if there are dead bodies and these dead bodies belong to you, you have to apply for that. You have to tell. But you get into the hospital, you storm into the hospital, you take away dead bodies of terrorists, and then you want to own those that is fine. But the question is that you have a right to protest, but that protest, I can show you the images where they are targeting the police, where they are targeting the police van, where they are targeting, they're removing the cameras, they're getting on the top of the poles, they're dismantling, the entire digital apparatus, the public infrastructure. So the question is that they have absolute right to protest, they should protest, but in the legal domain of any system. That does not give them the right to violate the law. That does not give them a right that they can storm into the hospitals. The anxiety among the patients in Quetta, because they know that these protesters can come in and they can get into the dead bodies, they can take away the dead bodies, and they will disturb the peace in the hospital. Nobody can even speak loud in the hospital, but unfortunately they went into the hospital, they stormed there, they disturbed the doctors, they disturbed the patients. There was some, the procedures were going on, but unfortunately, remember, the government's job is to maintain law and order. And
sure.
For that matter,
and speaking of procedures, Kamar Chima, then why is the government now not following procedures, not giving Maharang, Baloch or anybody else who you say are legally arrested any legal remedies? Is that not what procedure dictates?
The question is that as per the law, every individual who has been taken into the custody, he or she is produced in front of the court. That process will be done, because she was arrested, I think, on Saturday. Then there was a Sunday, and I think the due process will.
And all of Monday today is over, sir.
So I think the police and the government will be doing the needful. Nothing to worry. So you should not get upset. The Pakistani law will deal with them.
Okay, Tarakarta, the Pakistani government is doing everything by the book, is what many believe there. But as far as the crisis in Balochistan is concerned, we've seen 2 attacks consecutively, one that ended in lives being lost of hostages, of passengers on board a train, including security personnel. And then there was another attack within 24 to 48 hours after that. The kind of crackdown that we're now seeing on these Baloch activists, do you think this is now a desperate Pakistani army and the administration trying to crack the whip because they want to seem like they're on top of the situation and everything is under control?
I think I said this on your channel just after the attack on the train, after the hijacking of the train, that the Pakistan army will 100% react with full force. And that's precisely what they did. And that's it. The tragedy is, this is all the so-called counterterrorism that they know, is to go and attack civilians, pick up anybody and push them into a ditch. I mean, it's pathetic. This is not, on a professional point of view, this is not how you conduct counterterrorism. I mean, and I'm sorry, whatever the gentleman from Pakistan said, if there was rule of law in Balochistan, this situation would never have happened. I mean, we've heard of hundreds of people being picked up, and the forced, what they call, the whole language has been created for Balochistan called forced disappearances. I've never heard that anywhere else. Where Maharang's father itself was picked up in 2009. And they found his body much later, tortured. I mean, what has that girl gone through? Her brother was picked up. This is just not her story, is that of many other people in Balochistan. So I'm sorry, there is absolutely no legal excuse whatsoever for what the Pakistanis are doing. None at all.
But do you think anything will change? But do you think anything will change, Tarakarta?
No, they should ideally start wooing the people. That is how you work counterterrorism. You get the people on your side. Right now, the Baloch people, they provide Pakistan with electricity, with the gas. They themselves have no gas. They provide Pakistan with much of the resources. They have nothing. They're the most underdeveloped province. So if Pakistan army somewhere is listening to this, you cannot win. They treat Balochistan like a colony. If you treat it like a colony, it will react as a colony. And that is what is happening.
Kamar Chima, before I get you in, Amar Mastikhan, I want to get in Kamar Chima. Kamar Chima, is this Pakistan reaping what it sowed? Because this has been boiling there for years together, Kamar Chima. Either you didn't see it coming or you didn't do enough to put a lid on it or try to get people on your side.
Well, it's very awkward to be among the terrorist sympathizers, but unfortunately this panel's formation is like this. The question here is that this madam is talking that...
Sir, you can't be labeling people terror sympathizers for asking what all of that entire region has been asking for decades now.
the terrorists will be dealt in a way they should be dealt. I'm surprised to hear that Ms. Tara is saying that I knew that they will deal with these terrorists in this way. How should a terrorist be dealt? How do you deal with the terrorists? The terrorists are dealt by the heavy arm of the law. So you want that those who...
Sir, somebody who's women who are sitting on the road protesting, are they terrorists?
Take flowers for those
according to the Pakistani government, Kamar Chima?
Ms. Tara wants that we should take flowers for those who made the hostage.
No, by all means take action against those people who stormed the civil hospital, as you're saying, sure. If the doctors and the patients were terrorized, please go ahead and take action. But these women who were sitting there for that demonstration, unarmed, who were dragged and assaulted in the middle of the road, are they terrorists for you?
The question is, first of all, I think the question remains that Ms. Tara said that, those terrorists who kidnapped people in the train or who made that hostage, I knew they will deal with that. How the terrorists are dealt? This is the question. Are you a terrorist sympathizer? This is so strange to listen. And then question of Maharang Baloch. Maharang Baloch has been protesting for long. She has absolute every right to protest. Nobody can stop her protest. But she does not have a right to storm into the hospital and take away the dead bodies. This is not how the law will let her do. She's a daughter of Balochistan and daughter of Pakistan. Every person protests. But remember, you are not.
But her protest and her voice hasn't been heard much like everybody else in Balochistan. But Amar Mastikhan, I want to ask you this. Yes, you had a point to make, but I also want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you feel let down by the international community? Because like we've been discussing, this has been going on for years together. Every time something like this happens, the United Nations, Amnesty International, they come out, they condemn, they raise concerns. And then what happens next? Nothing.
Yeah, I will say one thing here, please. See, they have now arrested our de facto Prime Minister. I am appealing for an Anglo-Indian American peacekeeping force in Balochistan. The only foreign element that is in Balochistan is the Pakistan military boots that has been on our heads for 77 years. Enough is enough. Today, our girls, our boys, I have called on all my younger family members to go and confront these terrorists. How come they call us terrorists? Who has done the terrorism? November 20, 2008, Hindustan Times, Asif Zardari came and they said, we are not going to be the first to use nuclear weapons. Who did the terrorism 6 days later in Mumbai? You have all that. You guys know that. I'm appealing. Anglo-Indian American peacekeeping force is necessity now. Please help us, because these guys you can see them. They have been launching a vilification campaign. The ISI spokesperson, he's also now like an ISI guy. He's not a journalist. He's not any kind of an intellectual or analyst. He is representing the ISI viewpoint here. You see, they're attacking, vilifying our Prime Minister. We are not saying anything about your Maryam Nawaz Sharif. How do you have the right to come and jail our leader?
So it seems like it's a my way or highway sort of a situation as far as the Pakistani administration goes, and that's why we've seen the situation come to a head like it has. But Tara Karta, last 30 seconds, I saw your hand going up.
Yeah, what I said is that the reaction to the train hijacking would be on the people, or not on terrorists. We had 26/11, we didn't go and attack Mumbaikars. This is what you're doing. You're attacking the people on the ground. The 14-year-old boy has been killed. I mean, normally, Mr. Chima, I would not, you know how I speak to you. I speak to you with respect. But this is tragic. Maharang,
but it looks like, Tara Karta, they can't seem to make that distinction, and that's really what the complaint or the grouse has been, especially of people from Balochistan for all these decades. Many believe nothing is going to change. The international community, like I said, raises an eyebrow when such things happen, and then there's complete silence. Unfortunately, the people of Balochistan are left to fend for themselves and fight this kind of war that they are for the last few decades. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. I have to leave it there. I thank you all for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. It is a wrap from me, but Zaka Jacob joins you next with Brass Tacks.
Co-powered by
Hodri meydan, hodri meydan.
Ezgi arkadaşımıza çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Dava açsınlar. O sandık...
Good evening, this is Rastak Samzaka Jacob. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar seems to have landed in a bit of hot soup. Speaking at the News18 India Diamond States Summit yesterday, DK was asked about the 4% reservation for Muslims, which was recently passed in the Karnataka Assembly. DK defended the decision and said that yes, the constitution will be altered. There have been numerous judgments that have altered the constitution in the past. It has happened before, and there will be some good news soon. Today, though, this issue created huge furor in Parliament. The Congress and the BJP were trading barbs at each other. It disrupted both houses of Parliament. The BJP says the Congress is being anti-constitutional by batting for Muslim quotas. That's not how the founding fathers envisaged quotas. DK seems to have walked back on his comments, but the damage seems to have already been done.
Why do we need even a 4% reservation in contracts for minorities?
See, there is a big